All right, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another edition of Deeper Farmer Cigar Garage Talks. Yes, we're in the garage again. Kind of talked about that in the last few videos. It's just been kind of a bit of a lift to get out onto the deck. That's just my bad. I got to redo the setup, get some new chairs, right? All that toolbox fallacies. I think I talked about that in a video not too long ago. But how's everyone doing today? I'm doing really good. We have 2 deer in the freezer now. We gave a couple days off, and we're going to jump back out here tomorrow with the kiddos to go hunting again. But that's what we're talking about today. We are talking about the marriage season, or series. On video 2, that's right, we're 10% of the way through. Go me. We are calling this one the marriage sun butter effect. We're going to talk about that. First, before we get too deep into this video, what are we talking about? What are we smoking? What are we drinking? First off, the cigar. Some of you might be surprised to see this, but it is a Gurkha. Pure Evil. If you know, you know. For a while, I gave up smoking Gurkha cigars. They had some... They made some financial, business, and personal choices that I didn't agree with. Plus, some of their cigars, the quality went down. I'm okay. They kept the prices actually fair, and the quality being a little bit less, I could deal with. But they did some business and personal choices I did not agree with. I stopped smoking Gurkhas. To this day, I still don't go and buy them. This Gurkha was given to me in a variety pack. But why did I pick this one? Because Mr. Sunbutter here needed a friend who's also pure evil. Again, we're going to get to why Sunbutter is pure evil. A good cigar. I don't mind Gurkhas now. I'm kind of going back and forth whether I'm going to start buying them again or not. For now, it's not. If I give them the sampler pack, I'm going to smoke them. For the drink, we have the, again, Kippo Stout from Upper Hand Brewery. I've had this one before. Good dark stout to go with this dark conversation. Plus, it's one of the last beers I have. I got to go do a beer run to pick up some more beers for these videos. So let's give this beer here a try. Like I said, I've had this one before. It's pretty decent. I don't mind it at all. Yep, same. Nice, light, creamy. Well, let's talk about the video today. So this one, I'm calling the Sun Butter Effect. And I am not belittling this company at all. Just so happened we had a homeschooling event. Someone bought Sun Butter in case someone had peanut allergies. They could still have peanut butter and jellies. Okay, great. So why do I dislike Sun Butter so much? Well, let's back it up. Way back when. Really rewind that clock. And let's talk about Vashman when he was born. Just shortly after he was born, he developed some issues with his eustachian tubes, which resulted in him being pretty much almost 100% deaf. He could not hear, developed the issue, really got bad at about 6 months. And it took us to about, hell, I think it was 3, when we finally found the right surgeon that could go in there and reconstruct his ears. They had to reconstruct his eustachian tubes, reconstruct his eardrums. The boy can hear great now. Sometimes, again, he's a teen, so he pretends he can't hear us. But when he started school at 5, he had only been hearing for about 2 years. So he had speech delays, he had speech impediments, and there was some learning delay. Just because, again, he couldn't hear the spoken word. He did know sign language. We actually learned sign language so we could communicate with him, but he really didn't hear the spoken word. So we go to get him into kindergarten, and they tell us, hey, you know what? Why don't we put him in the special needs class? And I'm not opposed to that. I was in the special needs class with my dyslexia. Their rationale was that he could have almost daily speech therapy. More on that in another video. He was not getting daily speech therapy like we were promised. we still put him in the special needs class. So, needless to say, when he went off to school, it was not the best transition for him. He was not enjoying it. He wasn't enjoying school. He wasn't having fun. Life was not good for Vashman. Well, we found the secret was if we give him Oreos and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and he just needed his peanut butter and jelly. Okay, well, that was good for about a month or so. All of a sudden, we get this letter in the mail where his teacher is talking about the benefits of this GFCF diet. In case you're at all curious, that's gluten-free, high cornstarch-free, all that stuff that makes food taste delicious, all that free. She's telling parents how, we have to switch to this GFCF diet. And she recommends this sun butter, which is GFCF certified, and a type of bread. So we buy some sun butter. Vashman absolutely positively hates it. He cannot stand the sun butter. I try some, and I don't disagree with him. So we call up his godfather, who is a professional chef at a very bougie restaurant. We get talking with him, like, what can we do? And he says, well, if the kids, back that up. Vashman will not do the sun butter. I missed part of the story. So we send him to school. He still has his PB&Js. The teacher then calls us and says, why are you not giving him the sun butter? And we say, well, he just won't eat it. He's coming home hungry because his sandwich isn't being even a bite out of it. She said, well, you know what? We actually have a kid who has a peanut allergy. Oh, okay. So you have to switch to this GFCF-free sun butter because he's not allergic to that. Okay. Interesting. The kid's got a peanut allergy. I worked on the ambulance. Fine. That's then when we talked to my son's godfather, explained to him, they want us to have this sun butter. He then shared some information about this GFCF diet and shared a bunch of research that says it's actually kind of bull. But whatever. I mean, the kid's got a peanut allergy, so I'm more than, I'm a paramedic. I can respect that. That's a scary thing. So we're willing to switch to something else, but I tell my son's godfather, I was like, look, he won't eat sun butter. And he basically said, I don't see why he would. Stuff's disgusting. So he says, but hey, if the kid's got a peanut allergy, go for tree nut butter. So go for hazelnut. I said, hazelnut? Where do I get some of that? Well, Nutella. And I tell you what, Vashman life perked up when he could go with a chocolate peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So we did this, we did Nutella and jelly sandwiches, sent him to school with those. Vashman just instantly perked up. Loved it, loved going to school. Well, a week goes by, and we get another phone call from his teacher saying that, you misunderstood me. He's got an all-nut, tree nut, and peanut allergy. This one kid who, she says exists. We don't think actually exists, but that's for a different story. And she demands that we pick up this sun butter that is GFCF certified. And the kid actually probably shouldn't be around jams and jellies too. All right, so we know Vashman's not going to eat that. We call up son's godfather again. Hey, kid is apparently all nut allergy. He's like, well, that's odd. He's like, the statistical probability that a kid in pre-K is an all nut allergy is almost non-existent. He's like, but whatever. You know what? Godfather's got you covered. So he talked to his supplier, who talked to a processor, who was able to send us. We paid for it. It was expensive, but it was peanut butter chunk infused with dried cherry sun butter. So it still has chocolate. That stuff was delicious. Okay, that stuff didn't last long. It had chocolate. It was made sun butter base. Had these dried cherries in it. Vashman loved it. So, send him to school. The teacher actually called us in. And there was the teacher, the principal, the school therapist, talking to us about how we need to just get with the program embrace GFCF because this is what's going to help our child. They know what's best. And this nut allergy needs to be taken seriously. And they start pontificating about how if we don't start bringing him these sun butter sandwiches, that, our son could be expelled because we're not going with the program. And part of the program, part of their learning program, includes a dietary guideline. So anyway, I'm upset. Homeschooling mom was upset. Vashman, well, he had his sun butter with peanut butter chunks and dried strawberry or dried cherry, so he was happy. We get on the phone. It was a Thursday. Call up our son's godfather, kind of at wit's end. What are we going to do? How can we spruce up sun butter to make it taste good? He said, you know what? Doesn't your school say that family is allowed at any time? We said, yeah, they did. Okay. So the next day, he actually called the school and says, hey, I'm a godfather of Vashman. I would like to come tour your school. I hear family's welcome. Is that true? And they said, well, of course, we'd love family to come in. So he comes in, and he throws on his health inspector badge. He gets out his allergy certifications and allergy clipboard and material. And he said, as a family member of the child who goes to school, I want to see everything. I want to see your kitchen. I want to see your dining facilities. He also is a part of a bunch of organizations. He is going to inspect the crap out of their school. So it shows on the table the kids eat. And there sits a little sign, says nut-free table. He says, that's wonderful. He says, this table stays nut-free 24/7, 365 days a year. Well, the principal, who was also called down, says, well, no, you don't understand. The high schoolers and middle school use this table, and no one's got allergies there. So after their meal, before our start, we wipe it down with bleach. Good, disinfect it, wipe it down with bleach. That should take care of everything. And he, of course, starts laughing. For those of you guys who are not aware, the allergen in peanuts is actually found inside an oil. And bleach does not actually neutralize the allergen. It actually spreads it. So they are basically coating this table. If there's even a drop of peanut on this table, they are essentially painting the table with the allergen. So he shares with them, he has documents printed out because he knew what was going to happen. He says there's actually only one cleaner on the market for about a 4-ounce jar, which you dilute into about a cup's worth of water. It costs $500. And he says, if you're doing it every day, you're looking at about $5,000 worth of this product you have to buy in a year. So they get all of a sudden very excited. Oh my goodness, are you serious? $5,000? He's like, and unfortunately, this is a citation to not actually have a table that's nut free if you honestly have a child who has a nut allergy. They then started pontificating about this GFCF diet and how it helps all children, not just the ones who are peanut allergies. He then produces a bunch of documents he shared with me, including the National Culinary Arts Federation, who did an in-depth study that found that the GFCF diet will show positive results for about 6 weeks. But then at 6 weeks, there's a hard 180 where it no longer has any perceivable benefit and actually might have a negative benefit to most children. Turns out cutting out gluten, if you don't have a gluten allergy, not really the best for everyone. A lot of us need that gluten to be healthy. So he shared that. He also shared a bunch of information on how the citations they could get if someone was to, in fact, contact the health department or contact the state inspector. Not, of course, that he would, but he gave them the sheet. Moral of the story, Tuesday morning, we get a mass email talking about how much they are definitely a family-centric group, but that godparents are not considered family, and that godparents would not be allowed to attend and to tour the schools, and that the kid who has a peanut allergy, he's kind of controlling himself. So if your child wants to have peanut butter and jellies, they're back on the market, or back on the menu. They again do say that they are trying to strive for a GFCF diet for everyone, but they understand how that could be problematic and expensive for some parents, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, why? So yeah, we all yell about, for our kids. Why do I call it the sun butter effect? Because this product right here, because of that fight we had, because of that argument, because of that fight, that was the 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 straw that really broke the camel's back for us. That product right there led us to homeschooling. It led us to, now we homeschool all our kids. We eventually that year actually pulled Vashman and started schooling from home. Now there's other things that contributed to it. The teachers working with him said that he was basically retarded, could never learn, would never write his name, be able to read, which we knew wasn't true. He's a very intelligent kid. He hadn't been able to learn much, considering he was deaf for 3 out of the 5 years of his life. But what did us really start talking the conversation about we need to pull our child? It was sun butter. It's this crap right here. This is going in the garbage after this video. I can't even stand to have it in my house. That's how much I despise sun butter. But when you're married, it's little stuff like that that can throw you. Stuff that finally breaks the camel's back that we need to be ready for. Stuff that we as a couple, me and homeschooling mama had to work through, had to talk about, had to agonize over whether or not we were making the right decision or not. And to go full-time homeschooling is one of the hardest decisions we ever made in our life. We look back, we were very happy that we did it. Our children are pretty much happy that we did it. But it was one of the hardest, if not the hardest decision we had to make, was to homeschool our children. And had we not had such a strong relationship, not been able to talk about it and work through it and be ready for these curveballs to be thrown at us, we might not have thrived through this. This might have taken us out. This might have led to us potentially ending our marriage. So I talk about the sun butter effect. Something silly like this can rock your relationship, can rock your world, and start you down a path that if you're not ready to pivot, if you're not ready to work with your spouse, work with your husband or your wife, this product right here could destroy your marriage. So be ready for that. Be ready for the unexpected. What could unexpectedly change your life? I have a similar story about sunflower seeds. Interesting, they're kind of related. But that's for a different video. Anyway, folks, you're going to marry someone. You have married them. Have a serious conversation about what if we get thrown sun butter and we have to pivot. We have to change our very idea of what it means to live and survive. Again, we never wanted to homeschool. Maybe at middle or high school, we were going to homeschool our kids. Definitely not through elementary school. That was not a thing. We weren't ready for that. We were not ready for that. So when we had to take our kindergartner out of school and homeschool him, all because of sun butter. So be ready to pivot, folks. Be ready for change and handle that change with each other. Work through it. Compromise. Adapt. You can do it. I know you can. Anyway, folks, I'm going to go enjoy some Pure Evil, huck that into the garbage can, finish my delicious beer. Hopefully these series are helping. If not, well, you have 18 more to go. So stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.